Hello, my name is Bill, and today I will be giving a tutorial of the third question of the Caribou Coding Contest Senior Contest. It is called Queens on a Chessboard. In the previous video, I already showed an animation of the solution. Now I will show you the code for the question. In this program, we're going to solve the 8 queens problem using a recursive backtracking approach. So again, we're going to use PyCharm. We're going to create a new file, and it's going to be a Python file. We're going to name it Senior 3. So we'll have two main functions, isValid and backtrack. The isValid function checks if it's valid to place a queen at a given position. So you're going to start with the isValid function. We first put def, which is short for define, is valid, and then we're going to put board, which is just a board, and like all the valid and non-valid places, I and j. These are going to be the coordinates for the specific queen. We start by checking if there's anything above it. For k in range I, if board k, j, that's the coordinates, equals q, we return false, which just means this place is not safe. So what this will do is that k is going to be the y coordinate, and the y coordinate will start at the top of the board, and then it slowly goes down until it reaches the specific queen we are talking about right now. Until it reaches the said queen. Now we do this. R, C equals I, J. So I will become the new I and C will become the new J. But I and J still keep their values, so we can use it later. And then here we use a while system. While R is larger than or equals to 0, and C is larger than or equals to 0 as well. So then the coordinates won't go under 0 and go into the negatives. We're gonna do a conditional. Now what we do is if board RC, this is just going to be the coordinates just like before, is Q, which is the queen, then it cannot be placed here. So we also return false. And so the first time the coordinates goes from up to down. So now we start here and we go this way. So what we do is R minus equals 1. And then so C also minus equals 1. And next, this is for going this way. So we're going to the left diagonally. Now we're gonna go to the right diagonal, like this. Also, we have to put the second loop beside the first one and not within. Okay, now we can just make the one that detects the right diagonal. Control C, Command V. There's only going to be 2 changes. One right here. It's going to be smaller than 8, and here instead of -1, it's +1. Now, if any of these returns false, then it will just end, but if it gets through, then we return true. Okay, now we're going to start with backtrack. So we're going to have the information on the board and the I coordinate, which is just the y coordinate. So then if I equals 8, then return 1. So what this does is that when all of the queens are placed down successfully, it will go into the 9th row, which is the number 8 row. So the first one will be number 0, and the second one will be number 1 because of how computers store things. So after I becomes 8, it just means that all the queens have been placed down successfully. So then we add 1 to the counter. And then we start with this. Count equals 0. So every time the count becomes 0. And then we do a loop. J in range 8. And then we do this if board I j equals dot. So in the board, the dots mean a safe place and a star means a place where a queen cannot be placed. So if it's a place where a queen can be placed and is valid, board I j, which just means that if there's no queen targeting it, then board I j equals q. So when that happens, we store a queue or queen place in, so then new queens can detect. Then we do this count plus equals backtrack, so it uses itself, which is why it's a recursive program. Board I plus 1, and then board I j equals dot. So after the recursive is done, it changes back to a dot and do this again until it finds another wild spot on this row. Then after this, it returns count after all the loop is done. Now it's time for the main program. And we start with board empty. Then we do this 8. So loops 8 times. And each time we add a row of stars and dots. And then in the end, we print, backtrack, board, and 0. And we need to edit this to make sure it's fine. So let's run it. But right before I do it, because these are different things, I have to separate them. And this should be good. I'll copy the board and 65. So let's check if that was correct. And as you can see, it's the exact same number. So if you found this video helpful, share it with your friends. Like and subscribe. Bye.